Alright, y'all. I usually start off these yap sessions by saying, I just finished the game and blah blah blah, my yap about it. But I've been in this game a million times already. But I still want to yap about it because it's so peak. But yeah, Resident Evil 2, 1998, the original version. This game, like, it sucks that so many people don't want to play it because of the old school mechanics, fixed camera angles, tank controls and all that. But dude, it's so worth it, and once you get used to it, you get used to it. Like, it's not that big of a deal, and it's got an aesthetic to it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's so peak. Like, the game's like, this is like, I think, peak classic survival horror. I don't think there's any. Maybe Resident Evil 1 remaster might be better, but that's a remaster. So like, the classic trilogy of Resident Evil on PS1, this is definitely the best one out of all of them, in my opinion. And yeah, and then the music is really good. The safe room music, Resident Evil 2 safe room music is probably my second favorite. Once again, Resident Evil 1 remaster is probably my favorite when it comes to safe room music, but that's, it is what it is. But yeah, RE2, like, it's a fucking classic. It's a fucking classic. Everybody knows what RPD looks like, and like, besides just RPD, Rent through the city and like the swamps and the fucking laboratory, the whole environments are really cool. And again, the pre-rendered, not like the PNG background, like, it takes some time to get used to, but it kind of has like some sort of, like, it has like a charm to it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's really cool. Another thing that's fire about Resident Evil 2 is the guns, especially the shotgun. Like, once you get the extension for the shotgun, that shit sounds so good to shoot. It's peak. It's really good. And yeah, the story is really good too. A lot of people start playing Resident Evil with Resident Evil 2 first, but usually they play the remake first. But most people know the story. Leon's first day on the job, goes to Raccoon City, whole fucking city's gone to shit. And then for Claire's side, she's looking for her brother Chris, and it really leads perfectly after Resident Evil 1. And yeah, the something that the remake does do better though is the cutscenes. That is the only gripes I have with this game, really, is the pre-rendered cutscenes, which you can't really get on its case too much because it's just a product of its time. But the pre-rendered cutscenes look pretty bad, and the voice acting isn't that good either.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hold your fire! I'm a human!
I think it's because of English translations from Japanese to English. Back in the day, that was like a serious issue. That was honestly something that was pretty consistent. You would see across video games and movies and all that, where the English translation was always a little wonky from Japanese. Except Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid, that game did not give a fuck. That game was peak either way.
It's Snake. I'm in front of the disposal facility.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
And yeah, something that makes the OG Resident Evil games feel special, and I think especially with this one too, is that feeling of like dread. Like, you see the whole city go to shit, and you're barely struggling to make it by anywhere, and so many people are dead around you, and it's like, fuck my life. Like Leon being stuck in RPD, he's like hopelessly trying to find people to save, but he just can't find anyone. It makes you feel so small in this giant ass city where everything's going to shit, and it just adds on to that whole, dread aspect of it. And then the limited saves and the limited ammo and the limited fucking everything, limited heals, all that shit. It just, again, it makes it so like that fucking peak survival horror right there. Like, even if necessarily there isn't really that many scary jump scares, especially for today's standards with how old these graphics are, it still has that sort of fear. But you'll be scared not really because the monster looks scary, but because you don't want to fucking die with all of the progress you've made and you haven't made it to a save room yet. That type of, dread. So when it comes to like the accessibility of Resident Evil 2, because that is a big deal. Because like I said, a lot of people don't want to play it because of all the old mechanics. I feel like it's way easier to get into than what people let off. Like, yes, the controls and the camera angles can take some time to get adjusting to, but like I said, getting adjusted to it does not, like, it's not that bad. And then difficulties, at least the Steam version of the game, which by the way, thank you Dan for reminding me of the game. There's like that makes it even easier to get into. You know, you got easy. There's easy mode, and then at least for Resident Evil 2, I'm pretty sure arranged mode helps you even more. Like there's accessibility options for this shit. The only thing I can understand you like I can't really defend too much is the ink ribbons, the limited saves, and that's like a double-sided like sword because it really enhances like the survival horror aspect of it, because you know you can't just save whenever you want, and it makes it so whenever you go to a room without saving after a while, it makes it really tense. So it's like, you know, it's a big part of the game, but at the same time, if you have like almost anywhere to be, it can be difficult to pick up and play these old school Resident Evil games because let's say you gotta go somewhere, you pick up the game, I want to play the game for 10 minutes or some shit, like a quick little session before I go somewhere or something like that, or I don't know how long I'll be able to play, and then you gotta leave suddenly. You either have to waste an ink ribbon or just lose all the progress you just did. Like, that's annoying. I can understand that, but if you have time to play the game, then it's not an issue in my opinion. But I could see the argument for ink ribbons being on it, but everything else, I'm pretty sure you'll get used to it if you just give it a chance. But yeah, Resident Evil 2, OG Resident Evil 2's peak. Please go play it. I know that me personally, it took me a while to get used to OG Resident Evil style. Like when I first played Resident Evil 1 Remaster, and I played the whole game, and after I beat the whole game, I'm like, this game was fucking horrible. This game was miserable. I hated it. But like, I eventually grew to love it. I don't know how to describe it, but like, you get used to it, and when it clicks, it fucking clicks. Yeah, please go play Resident Evil 2.